Affecting the cluster now and to improve the image of the cluster in the international markets. Cluster development process has helped the wet grinder manufacturer itself the cluster as evident gained popularity and is addressing to such strategic needs. Social capital in the cluster has improved. The micro enterprises are getting a better deal from the small enterprise sector to whom the micro enterprises supply their components. The two clusters presented here are just a micro representation of the several clusters being developed by DC MSME under MSE CDP. The clusters undertaken under MSE CDP range from brass and bell metal cluster to bulk drug and formulation cluster, foundry cluster, steel re-rolling cluster, auto component cluster, etc. The results in other clusters are also quite encouraging and noteworthy. Under the revised MSE CDP guidelines, projects up to 10 crore rupees, that is $2.5 million, can be taken up for development of MSE clusters. Performance under the scheme is monitored by a steering committee chaired by Secretary MSME, Ministry of MSME, Government of India. The MSE CDP in the years to come is expected to address the developmental needs of several clusters in the country. Perhaps it would be apt to say, clusters are the future of business.
What do you understand from this small documentary? This we have shown to you is related to small and medium enterprises. And what we are going to discuss with you is rural enterprise clusters. Cluster as such is a group, samuh. Now, rural enterprises in one place. Let us discuss. That is the a topic that is today. I am here. Okay, and you can stop me. I just some of the slides we would show it to you, and I will discuss. And you can stop at any time, and we can discuss. Historically, India is endowed with a number of indigenous enterprise clusters. What does it mean? Over a period of time, number of enterprises have been agglomeration of enterprises. How agglomeration of enterprises would be formed? Based on raw material, based on market demand, based on so many other things, skilled people were there. Number of enterprises in rural enterprises became extinct. For example, in 12th century, Coimbatore area used to export muslin, a thin cloth that you used to export to Egypt. What for? To cover the dead bodies. Without that cloth, the dead bodies are never performed any funeral. That is the strength of the that skill with that class. Now, nowhere. You take many areas in the country, tribal areas, remote rural areas, many skills or many enterprises are not now. They are all became extinct because the lack of perhaps that cluster approach was not there. Otherwise, we could see a wonderful enterprises today. So next is predominantly occupational, artisanal, and rural in nature. I think mostly we are talking the MSME clusters, rural enterprises are mostly occupational because we are divided by Varna system, further divided by caste system of this country. Certain activities, certain vocations are ascribed to some communities, and by default, people used to develop skills. and became some enterprises. So this occupational, artisanal comes on handlooms, handicrafts, or are rural based, and so many other enterprises in all are rural in nature. Emergence of manufacturing, high-tech and service enterprise clusters in post-independence area. You see, let us understand, pre-independence, British India always encouraged only occupational and artisanal, because that skill always unique. Now after the independence, we have announced the first industrial policy in 1948. Then our 1950 5-year plan, the very systematic industrial policy was announced. Then we can find a number of enterprises under manufacturing, high-tech and service enterprises. Then you have seen in the film, 1970 the enterprise cluster has come in wet grinder, in fan, in Hyderabad city, because of the industrial promotion by the policies that are developed by our country. Now we are having about 6,400 micro and small enterprise clusters in India. And now, why we are talking about cluster development? Because our economy is opened up in 1991. Opened up to gates have been opened, so that we are focused. Our products are open to all global consumption. That is how. That is the challenges are there. Under liberalization, there are many challenges, many opportunities, and some are not withstanding the changes of the liberalization. Now see that ours is the largest country having the clusters 6,400. How? The statistics clearly say traditional and manufacturing 400. What are traditional all manufacturing, like vector grinder, fan, engineering products and goods, all manufacturing are just 400. These 400 clusters are being covered by our ministry. Next is a huge artisan, rural, indigenous, occupation clusters come around 6,000. All these 6,000 are mostly handlooms, handicrafts, forest-based enterprises, women-based enterprises, many. All are in rural area. So that's why we are talking about the rural clusters. Next is what they do. Estimated employment is 75 lakhs. All our, I think you have seen in the film, micro and small enterprises are creating employment 4.1 crore. This is including to khadi and village industries. Now cluster of enterprises are creating employment 75 lakh. Exports 60% of the India's total exports. Only our MSME clusters are exporting 60%. Accelerated under cluster development with the initiation of our ministry and textiles in 2003. I think a little go back thing is, in fact, the real development started when State Bank of India started Uptech program in 1996. So there are several developments. UNIDO is the organization developed a methodology in 1996, same year. And we have seen, I think, we have had the concept of growth centers. That is a part of cluster development. Our institute, CET Institute at that time, prior to 1984, we had developed a concept of growth center. That growth center is more or less a cluster development. Later, UNIDO has modified and they have taken some concepts, did some experiment. 1996 CDP, cluster development methodology developed by UNIDO. Now coming to this, we have started our own center, exclusive center at our institute in January 2004. That center is National Resource Center for Cluster Development. Through this center, we are doing a number of activities. That just quickly we can go through this thing, and before going to what is cluster, why is cluster. Number of schemes or programs as on today are 24, all ministries together. And ministries, what are the ministries that come under? Ministry of MSME, Textile, Industry and Commerce, and Department of Ayush, Ayurvedic, Unani. Oh, many things are coming. There are in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, a number of projects have come up. And many companies are doing, organizations are doing under cluster development. And other ministries are coming out now: food processing, rural development, and one thing is missing, Ministry of Panchayat Raj. Ministry of Panchayat Raj, another it is missing here. Rural Business Hubs, RBH, that is also cluster based. And Tribal Affairs, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Integrated Tribal Development Agency or project in some states, it varies state to state. They are also coming up with a cluster development methodology. Financial institutions are supporting SBI, CDB, NABARD, National Minority Development Finance Corporation, NIDFI, and NMCC. These are all the institutions. Why we talk cluster development? One thing is our estimated resources to be invested in cluster development somewhere 3,400 crores to 4,000 crores in the next 5-year plan. In next 5 years, under the 11th 5-year plan. All these ministries put together, including Rural Development Ministry. Where do they concentrate? They have to concentrate on rural enterprises. No way out. So how far this cluster development methodology is feasible or result oriented? We will see that one. And stakeholder cluster development institutions, organizations, central ministries, financial institutions, state governments, lot of state governments are coming now. And Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, some more state governments are planning the cluster development. And technical agencies, number of technical agencies, we are also technical agency. One of the technical agencies of the country under the NRCD, and many R&D institutions, related research and development institutions. And international scene is this one, ILO and Small Enterprise Development Program, CDB. CDB program is supported by World Bank, DFID, GTZ and KFW. These are all international agencies. GTZ, German Development, German Technical Cooperation. GTZ is a German Technical Cooperation. It's the government of Germany. It is a sort of NGO taking up many activities for development of this country, mostly microfinance and sustainable economic development. UNIDO is the consolidated project for SME development in India. GTZ is a SME financing and development. GTZ is not only contributing to CDB, and they independently implementing in the country in 4 centers in the country. One is Hyderabad, another is Dehradun, Delhi and Indore. The number of clusters they are covering through their centers. What is a cluster? This is all what we talked is introduction, and why, what is this, all these things. What is now? What is a cluster of enterprises? Cluster of enterprises, sectoral and geographical concentration of enterprises in one location. The smaller the location, better the benefit. That is one expert commented in the workshop that we have organized in Delhi. So enter similar products of enterprises concentrated in one area, whether it's handloom, handicraft, honeybee, gum processing, and whatever this agribusiness, what we have discussed, so many agribusiness enterprises. All are one area, and they are just like that. Whether they formed in a long since ancient times, or olden days, or very recent, or just 5 years old, never mind. What is the age of the cluster? Age of the cluster is whether they are one sector and when they are concentrated one area with a clearly identifiable product and place. Only one, more or less a similar product. Similar product. Only the sarees or knitwear, tirupur, wet grinder, fan, cricket bat. Cricket bat, Anantnag in Jammu Kashmir. Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, 6,400, and you would find a similar type of thing. Faced with the common opportunities and threats, because we have opened up our economy, liberalized our economy, number of programs are coming up, and the world is running fast in manufacturing sector or in product sector, and the competition is there. And what we do, so that this is a common opportunities are there for the all stakeholders, entrepreneurs, is talking entrepreneur, or whatever product they make or whatever service they extend, and similar threats, for threats to get many losses, or maybe a cluster will die in the future. So that type of thing is there, includes support firms, service providers, and institutions. There are many, maybe basic main manufacturing things. For example, we have seen that crochet lace cluster, West Godavari, in the film, small at the end. That lace and other things are, some firms are there manufacturing, somebody is exporting, somebody is intermediary dyeing, and some is giving training to the women artisans. And the basic thing is number of maybe intermediaries, main manufacturing units are there, has a mutual interlinkages, strong or weak. Whatever it is, they have that network of enterprises, manufacturers, whether they are existing, they are strong or weak or no, it is there, because they share same product, same people, same labor, same designs, maybe some type of design. That may be the condition of a small enterprise cluster. What are the features of rural cluster? Talk about rural things. There are a number of clusters in the country, and not 400, many more also coming up in the manufacturing sector, and these are all the something. Most of thing is when a lot of people are unemployed, underemployed. If they are employed, they are employed for only thing. Their labor is being taken with a throwaway price. Under this today present context, if your service is being valued, it is not valued properly. Poverty. Mostly this is the one thing in rural clusters, handlooms. Take example Andhra Pradesh, Sirisella, where a lot of hunger deaths, suicide, that means that people who are really, many people are committed suicide is only because of the hunger. This is because of the handloom sector in the country is really backbone of the rural economy. The villages that you identify, that is the thing. Regional imbalance because this manufacturing sector is growing, and the rural side agro-based enterprises are coming down. So that is that imbalance is there. Underutilization of human resource skills are not being refined or valued or encouraged, not encouraged. And next is that rural clusters become extinct, that I talked, and less contribution to rural economy. Not only thing, everywhere Even though skill is there, good people are there, and because of lack of planning, lack of certain interventions by government or non-governmental agencies, they are just suffering, and that skill is dying, become extinct. And another thing is small in size. Wherever, and there are hundreds and thousands of handloom clusters. Now handicraft clusters are being taken up by Ministry of Textiles in a big way. Other day when I was discussing with that officials, they are coming with a huge way, handicrafts, toys cluster. Maybe many more enterprises are coming up. Small, although they are small in size, they have that sort of potential. Skill based, discuss, traditionally and family oriented. Handlooms, take example, family is a focus. Family, all in the family they work. Wife and husband, children, they work. Somebody is weaving, somebody is doing the thread, and somebody is making the dress, so many things. And low literacy and less exposure. One thing let us remember, although skill is there, they are not entrepreneurial. They are not entrepreneurial. Skill is there. But how they, so the skill is, do we allow to skill to die? Hence cluster development. So next is socio-cultural factors. Number of factors are there. There are so many things that I think it is totally may not be relevant here. Working in isolation. As you told very rightly, some are doing a big investment and